get this feeling I may know you as a lover and a friend, but this voice keeps whispering in my other ear, tells me I may never see you again, 'cause I get a peaceful, easy feeling, and I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing. I'm already standing. Yes, I'm already standing on the ground. Whoa.
Cowboys ain't easy to love, and they're harder to hold. They'd rather give you a song than diamonds or gold.
Lone Star belt buckles and old faded Levi's, and each night begins a new day. If you don't understand him, he don't die young. He'll probably just ride away.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars or drive them old trucks. Let them be doctors and lawyers and such. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. 'Cause they never stay home and they're always alone, even with someone they love.
Cowboys like smoky old pool rooms and clear mountain mornings.
Little warm puppies and children and girls of the night. Them that don't know him won't like him, and them that do sometimes won't know how to take him.
He ain't wrong, he's just different, but his pride won't let him do things to make you think he's right.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars and drive them old trucks. Let them be doctors and lawyers and such. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. 'Cause they never stay home and they're always alone, even with someone they love. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars and drive them old
Oh yeah, it's a long straight road and the engine is deep. I can't help thinking of a good night's sleep, and the long, long roads of my life are a-calling me. These rough old hands are glued to the wheel, my eyes full of sand from the way they feel, and the lights coming over the hill are a-blinding me. It's a long, tough haul from away down south. A man's gotta find a little bread for his mouth and a home for a girl, a lights coming over the hill are a-blinding me. There's rain on the road, I can feel the load.
It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. That makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words and bonds and the ink stains that are dried upon some line. That keeps you in the back roads by the rivers of my memory. It keeps you ever gentle on my mind. It's not clinging to the rocks and ivy planted on their columns now that bind me, or something that somebody said because they thought we fit together walking. It's just knowing that the world will not be cursing or forgiving when I walk along some railroad track and find that you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind. Though the wheat fields and the clotheslines and the junkyards and the highways come between us, and some other woman's crying to her mother 'cause she turned and I was gone, I still might run in silence, tears of joy might stain my face, and a summer sun might burn me till I'm blind. But not to where I cannot see you walking on the back roads by the rivers flowing gentle on my mind. I dip my cup of soup back from a gurgling, crackling cauldron in some train yard. My beard a roughening coal pile and a dirty hat pulled low across my face. Through cupped hands round the tin can, I pretend to hold you to my breast and find that you're waiting from the back roads by the rivers of my memories, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind.
Good afternoon to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and on behalf of the family I do make you welcome as you have gathered to pay your respects to a good woman, Mrs. Janice Robin Jan Smith. My name is Dudley Corbett and I'm indeed honoured to be invited by the family, but in the first instance by Jan herself. So I'm sort of under orders in a way. But thanks for that, Jan. It's a great honour. The service will take place in its entirety here in the chapel, and at the conclusion of same, the family would love to have you join them here in the room for refreshments and a catch-up for a lot of you. Some of you wouldn't have seen each other for a while, and you'll all have your own special memories of this special lady. And there are many stories, I'm sure, that will swap places a little bit later on. The family have also asked me to thank you for this great attendance here this afternoon, to assure you of the great comfort it gives them to know that Jan was so loved and so respected. And as we said, you'll all have your own special memories, special stories and recollections of Jan over many, many years, and many other stories, and yes, all sorts of things she used to get up to, but of course it was all good, as you would know, and new people would have kept it that way. The newspaper notice reads, Janice Smith, 1948 to 2026, dearly loved wife of the late Royce Lucas and Terry Smith. Loved mother and mother-in-law of Tony and Rose, Tanya and James, Darren and Jane and Nathan. Jan was the treasured nan of all her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Yes, and apparently she was a bit of a soft touch for the little ones, as grandmas usually are. Now, I have a couple of very touching and very, very beautiful tributes to read to you shortly, but as I sat with the family the other day, I learned a couple of things. That Jan was involved in country music since the tender age of 16. She was just so big, and the guitar, you could hardly see her behind the guitar when she started off, and former Penguin girl, and I knew her, I knew the family, I knew her brother, her mum and dad, yeah. So we do go back a long, long way. And then later on, of course, she became heavily involved in the country music industry, as a lot of you would know. And I see the country music fraternity very well represented here today, and Jan would have been so proud of that. Yeah, and Kate from FM and various artists down the back there and fellow artists come to pay tribute to this lovely lady. Unfortunately, Jan was left at a young age with 3 children under the age of 5. And she was also pregnant at the time when her late husband Royce was taken. So she had it tough bringing up 3 little kids to start with, and then another one on the way. So if you think you've got it tough, think about that and see how you'd cope with that. Yeah, but it's all revealed here in the story, and the family, of course, would like to say thank you to the Burney Hospital, to palliative care, and especially in the last 3 weeks of Jan's life. They did a wonderful job there looking after her. Now, as I sat with Tony and Rose the other day, we had a good old talk about the earlier times in the music, and they've given me something that I'm now very honoured to share with you. Today we gather to remember and celebrate the life of Janice Robin, a mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, a sister, a musician, a teacher, and a woman whose strength quietly carried many people through hard times. Jan was born on the 12th of October 1948 at the old Darwin Hospital in Burney. And for those of you who don't remember where that is, it later on became Stubbs' car park. She was born to Harry Samuel and Mildred Harriet Hardstaff. The hospital stood near Alexander Street, not far from where Hungry Jack's is. All right, Hungry Jack's is today, a small piece of local history. She was the youngest of 5 children, Alan, Merle, John and Douglas, all of whom have now passed. And even though she was the youngest, she grew into someone who carried responsibility and resilience throughout her life. Her early years were spent in Rosebery before the family moved to Penguin in 1959. In 1966, Jan married Royce Cyril Lucas. They bought their first home in 1967, the same year that their first child was born, Anthony, on the 7th of July. Life was busy, hopeful, and full of plans. On the 15th of January 1970, Tanya was born. Then only a few months later, tragedy struck when their house burnt down in March of that same year. Still, life continued, and on Christmas Eve, December the 24th, Darren was born. Jan and Royce moved into a new home in Somerset where all the children were raised. And later, after the children had grown and left home, Jan moved first into a unit in Arthur Street and then into her home in Elizabeth Street. In July 1972, Jan's life was forever changed when Royce was killed. At the time, she was pregnant with Nathan, who was born on the 29th of March 73. Jan suddenly found herself to be a young widow, raising 4 children, 3 under the age of 5 and a newborn. Tell me that wouldn't be tough. These were incredibly difficult years, and yet Jan endured them with courage and with determination. And during this time, her brother Douglas, to whom she was very close, became a pillar of strength. He supported Jan and the children in every way that he could, and he continued to do so right up until his own passing. His presence meant the world to Jan. In 1978, she found love again and married Terence James Smith on the 23rd of November. Together they shared many years, united by their love of music and creativity until Terry's passing in 2019. And I was fortunate enough to know Royce very well and also Terry very well. Jan's legacy lives on most powerfully through her family. Her 4 children gave her 10 grandchildren, but in no particular order. Mark, whom we also lost in the same year as Terry, Dean, Zach, Kyle, Corey, Jake, Taylor, Samuel, Patrick, Ebony and Eric. And I'll bet Jan never forgot her birthday. They seem to remember, don't they, the grandmas? She was also blessed with great-grandchildren, and Mark gave her Hayley and Alice, Jake gave her Sophia and Jacob, and Zach gave her Logan, and each of them was a source of immense pride for Jan. Music was one of Jan's great passions. She was a talented musician and singer, able to play the piano, the guitar and the bass guitar. And you'll see a couple of Jan's finely respected instruments here that she would have got a lot of great pleasure out of, and people would have got a lot of pleasure out of listening to her perform. Terry was also musically gifted, playing guitar, drums and percussion, and together they spent many years performing in local bands, bringing music to dances, events and community functions. One of their proudest moments, we're told, was performing at the official opening of the Burnie Civic Centre. Jan didn't just perform music, she shared it. She taught music at several primary schools and also taught privately from home, passing on her love of music to many children. She was also an accomplished seamstress and a tailoress. She made band uniforms, clothes for the family, and outfits that were very much the height of fashion at the time. Her creativity seemed to touch everything that she did. Jan worked for a period at Kmart in accounting, and after being made redundant, she worked for Wise Employment, a government enterprise, while also keeping the books for Tony's plumbing business, practical, capable, and always willing to put in the hard yards and the work. After Terry's passing, Jan joined a local car club, the Crazy Cruisers, and I have a lovely note here from the Cruisers, a lovely tribute. The club loves to hold events with members showing off their pride and joy vehicles, with no particular type of car as a theme, but they raise money and help anyone that they feel is struggling with health or life issues. Jan made new friends, totally enjoyed the events that they held, and helped tirelessly with the committee. Jan's life was not without loss, not without hardship, and not without heartbreak, but she met each chapter with resilience, with strength, and she shared her talents freely. Today we remember Jan not just for the roles that she filled, but for the person she was. Strong, creative, devoted, and loved. Special thanks to Dave and Jenny, to Pin and Kate and Audrey for their friendship and support during Jan's last few months. She will be so missed, but she will also be carried forward in the stories that we tell, the music that we hear, and the family that she built. Rest peacefully, Mum. Your work is done. Yeah, beautiful tribute there from family. And a special one from a very good friend of hers by the name of Kate. Jan came into my life through music. Her first night out after losing her husband, Terry, she came to the MRA with Jimmy and Marlene. We got talking and became friends. She was teaching me to use my MYOB for the club. It's a horrible program. She then started helping me with looking after my shop and helping with the stock take. And then Merrily had a lot on her plate and couldn't do Sunday night country for a while, so Jan came out to Coast FM and answered the phone. Janet started to get back into her guitar playing, and I was running a muster in Wynyard, and her and Marlene were going to play at the muster, but Jan had a heart attack on stage. We had to get the ambos to her straight away, and my own thinking that day, own health, thinking that her health went downhill from there on. But we have had some good times over the years and lots of laughs. You will be sorely missed, my friend. Rest in peace, from Jan. Thank you, Jan, for that. And another one. Jan was a loved and respected member of the Tassie Cruisers, Crazy Cruisers. Her knowledge of legal things kept us out of trouble. She must have had good knowledge there to keep the Tassie... No, it's okay. And she made us what we are today. She helped us with the registering the club and all the things that go with us. Probably in brackets over my head, they say. She used to laugh at me for saying, I'm too old for this. Jan also helped Jenny to set up the treasurer's books, and they also used to have fun fights over who would sit in the front seat whenever we went somewhere. Jan always lost, but she threatened to get Jen back one day. But she used to get a little bit crabby when Jen used to pay for lunch. She will be greatly missed. Rest in peace, lovely lady. From the Tassie Crazy Cruisers. Yeah. Well done. Some wonderful tributes there. Is there anybody else who would like to share a tribute with us? I know there are many stories, but if somebody has a story in tribute, you might like to perhaps keep it until the urn is boiling a little bit later on and share your stories. But yeah. Well, some wonderful memories from a lot of people here today, and as we said earlier, there'll be so many stories from everyone here today. We're now about to go back in time in Jan's life per virtue of some treasured family photographs that the family have put together, and see how your memory serves you when a couple of Jan's favourite pieces of music come on board as we look at her life from a young age right through. Thank you.
There's a light in the window, a table spread in splendor, someone standing by the open door. I can see a crystal river, and I must be near forever. Lord, I've never been this homesick before. See the bright light shine
standing at the door. This world's been a wilderness. I'm ready for deliverance. And Lord, I've never been this homesick before. I can see the family gathered, sweet faces all familiar. No one's old or feeble anymore. This old lonesome heart is crying. Think I'll spread my wings, start flying. Lord, I've never been this homesick before. See the bright light shine. It's just about home time. And I can see the Father standing at the door. This world's been a wilderness. I'm ready for deliverance. And Lord, I've never been this homesick before. See the bright light shine. It's just about home time. And I can see the Father standing at the door. This world's been a wilderness. I'm ready for deliverance. And Lord, I've never been this homesick before. Lord, I've never been this homesick before.
Like a bluebird with his heart removed, lonely as a tree. I've run just as far as I can run. If I never see the good old days shining in the sun, I'll be doing fine and then some. How long, woman, will you weep? How long, rock yourself to sleep?
I've been doing time in a lonesome prison where the sun don't shine. Just outside the Freedom River runs. Out there in that shining night with bloodhounds on your mind. Don't you know it's the same sad situation? How long, woman, will you wait? How long, rock yourself to sleep?
Everybody feels alright, you know I heard some poor fool say. Somebody, everyone is out there on the loose. Well, I wish I lived in the land of fools. No one knew my name. But what you get is not quite what you choose. Tell me how long, woman, will you weep? How long, rock yourself to sleep? How long,
Thank you to the family for sharing those treasured memories with us. Jan actually selected her own songs, and thanks, Jan, for selecting the better class of music. God made a wonderful mother, a mother who never grows old. He made her smile of the sunshine, and he moulded her heart of pure gold. In her eyes he placed bright shining stars. In her cheeks fair roses they grew. God made a wonderful mother, and he gave that dear mother to you. There are those who can't be with you today in person, but they are with you in spirit, and they share your sorrows through the wonderful technology of live stream. And I know some people out there who are sending their very best. And as we say, they're with you in spirit, and they share your sorrow today. I think Jan would have said this: remember me with a smile, now my life on earth is done. My dreams have all been fulfilled, and a new life has begun. Remember me with a smile when grief may cause you to weep. One day we will all laugh again when our next meeting we keep. Let's be thankful that we shared good times. Keep the memories warm for a while. Let them bring peace to your hearts. And remember me with a smile. And I'm sure everybody here today will remember Jan with a great big smile when the memories come flooding back. So in grief at her passing, but in gratitude for her life, today we have gathered to say a final farewell to Jan, and to thank her for the privilege of being numbered amongst those who grieve. And if those of you who knew Jan well can profit from her example, if you can each try to live just a little better for having known her, then through you, Jan, will have a continuing stake into making this world into a much better and a much happier place. May you all find comfort, richness and example in your many memories. May you find strength and support in your love for one another. And may you find peace in your hearts. And finally, Jan's wishes for those of you remaining would be, may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warmly upon your face, and the rain fall softly upon your fields. We could nearly do with some, Jan, just a little shower or two. And until we meet again, may all good things come your way. So finally, we have reached the final part of our farewell for Jan today, and on behalf of Parkside Funerals and myself, I would like to thank you for the great honour that you've showed us in helping to help say farewell in this particular manner. You've paid us a great honour. So we have now reached that part of our service we call the Committal, where we commit Jan to the next stage of her journey. These then are the last rites in the natural life of Mrs. Janice Robin Jan Smith. We have met to pay tribute and to say farewell, and so tenderly and reverently we commit Jan for cremation. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Grateful for the life that has been lived and for all that life has meant to each and every one of us. So we now leave Jan in peace, and with the greatest of respect we bid her our farewell. And thus, thinking of her, let us leave this place in quietness of spirit and live with concern for one another, resolved that we who live on and those who come after us shall have life and have it more abundantly, as per Jan's wishes. You were a good woman to many people, Jan, gone but not forgotten, gone but never apart, for we are blessed with memories held deeply within our hearts. Thanks for a million wonderful memories, Jan. Farewell, and you are now resting eternally in country music heaven. May you forever rest in peace. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Could I now invite you to stand as we commence to take our final farewell of our dear friend?
Baby, I see this world has made you sad. Some people can be bad. The things they do, the things they say. But baby, I'll wipe away those bitter tears. I'll chase away those restless fears and turn your blue skies into gray. Why worry? There should be laughter after pain. There should be sunshine after rain. These things have always been the same. So why worry now? Why worry now? Baby, when I get down, I turn to you, and you make sense of what I do. You know it isn't hard to say, but baby, just when this world seems mean and cold, our love comes shining red and gold, and all the rest is by the way. Why worry? There should be laughter after pain. There should be sunshine after rain. These things have always been the same. So why worry now? Why worry now?
love.